Hey guys, CSDL here, and today's video is going to be my January TBR and a readathon announcement. So I'm gonna start with the Readathon. This one is called the Medievalathon. I was told about it by a friend and decided to participate. The creator of the Readathon is Holly Hart's Books on YouTube. I will link her video in the description. So essentially, you are trying to earn different medieval ranks. So the basic first part is the number of books you read. You get a different title, like 0, you're a prisoner, and then, you know, once you hit number, like 1 book, you are something else. And I believe 5 books is a noble, and from there I think is like prince and princess, you know, stuff like that. So that is purely based on how many books you read. And then this particular readathon, you pick a career that there would have been like back in the medieval times, and there are 5 to choose from. There is the bard, the clergy, the blacksmith, the tailor or seamstress, and the baker. So for this one, you will pick one of those, and depending on which one you pick, you have different book prompts and different levels. There's 5 levels in each one, and each one, you know, there's a book prompt to go along with it. So I picked the bard, and for the bard, you have, I will also put up on the screen what I'm reading so that you can see it too. Like I said, each profession has like 5 levels. For the bard in particular, level 1 is the tavern poet, level 2 is a traveling troubadour, level 3 is the house musician, level 4 is the bard college student, and level 5 you are the legendary bard. And along with those levels, you have your book themes or your book prompts, which don't have to be done in the order that they're listed. But for the bard, we have read a book with a great first line, a book with a travel element, a book title that's a character's name, a book over 400 pages, and a book with multiple authors. So those are the prompts that I will be doing. These actually fit pretty well with my January TBR that I had picked out. I did have to add 1 book, but otherwise everything kind of lined up and worked out. So this is my January 2021 TBR. I will talk a little bit about each of the books and then let you know which Readathon prompt that book corresponds to. We have The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde. This is a classic, and I have a lot of classics I want to try to actually read finally, so we are starting here. The story is like your deal with the devil situation. Dorian Gray sells his soul for eternal youth and beauty. He remains forever unchanged, petulant, hedonistic, vain, and amoral, while a painting of him ages and grows increasingly hideous with the years. So that is the premise for The Picture of Dorian Gray. I've heard a lot about it over the years. I've had this book probably a few years myself, and I have not read it, and yeah, we are gonna fix that. We're gonna read it instead of letting it sit on my shelf like a sad book. And for the readathon prompt, this one will be counting towards a book with the character's name in the title. So next up we have the Descendants 3 movie novelization. So The Descendants is a Disney Channel original movie series. There is books that it's based off of, but the films, I think, differ and take slightly different directions. But anyway, so this is specifically the novelization of the 3rd movie. This whole series kind of centers around the children of Disney villains. They are all trapped on this island. They call it the Isle, and they can't leave. There's a magical barrier that stops them, but then the son of Belle and Beast decides he wants to stop punishing the kids for what the parents have done, so he brings over these four kids to the Isle, from the Isle to Readathon, where all of the good Disney people, live. All the heroes from the stories, they live in Readathon, and yeah, so that's essentially the premise of the series. And the first movie is them coming over. The second movie is they've been there a while, but then Mal, she decides she is homesick. She doesn't feel like she belongs in Readathon anymore, so she goes back to the Isle. Then they have to go get her, and shenanigans ensue. And then the third movie is Mal and Ben trying to be good rulers, and then one of their own from Readathon does something bad, and then they have to stop her. So that would be this novelization. I love the Descendants movies a lot, so this will be really fun to compare the movie with how the novelization is. Maybe I'll watch the movie and then read the book, or read the book and then watch the movie, see how they compare. It's gonna be fun. And the third movie, it is a good one for me because my favorite character gets quite a bit more screen time. Harry Hook, I love him, he's the best. And as far as the Readathon goes, this one's going to be counting as the one with travel, because they do go back and forth from the Isle, so that counts as travel, and they go other places too. So yeah, the travel one. Next, we have Percy Jackson and the Olympians by Rick Riordan. This is book 1, The Lightning Thief. This was very popular when I was in high school, but I never read it. I think just all of the hype turned me away from it, but this was gifted to me. The whole series was gifted to me as a Christmas gift, so we will finally be reading the Percy Jackson series. If you're unfamiliar with it, the first book is Percy finding out that he is a half-blood, someone who is, the child of a Greek god and a human. And he goes to this camp Half-Blood, where he meets a bunch of other children of Greek gods and other, Greek mythology, mythological creatures, things like that. And I believe in the first book, Zeus's lightning bolt gets stolen, and Percy is the suspect. So he must go out and on a quest to try to find the lightning bolt and the thief, and also learn some things about his past and his particular Greek god parent. For the Readathon, this will be counting towards the memorable first line. Since this is such a memorable and well-loved series, I figured we gonna count it. And if you're wondering, the line is, "Look, I didn't want to be a half-blood." Which I think I disagree, Percy, because who wouldn't want the powers of a Greek god? I am just saying. Next up, we have a manga. This is the book that was not originally in my TBR, but I did not have anything in my TBR for the Readathon that was more than 400 pages, so we needed to add something, and here we are. The manga is Inuyasha by Rumiko Takahashi. So the story follows Inuyasha, who is a half-dog demon, half-human, and Kagome, who is a modern human girl. I'll start with reading what the back of the manga says. Kagome is an ordinary modern schoolgirl living an ordinary life. Who would have thought the dried up old well on the site of her family shrine would be a gateway to Japan's ancient past? Drawn through the gate against her will, Kagome finds herself battling demons for control of what she thought was a worthless trinket, but is actually a powerful magical gem, the Shikon Jewel. Together with an unlikely ally, the half-demon Inuyasha, Kagome begins a quest to recover the shards of the Shikon Jewel and learn more about her link to the past. So, essentially, Kagome falls down that magical well. She ends up in feudal Japan. She finds out she's the reincarnation of the priestess that sealed Inuyasha to a tree for like 50 years. And this Shikon Jewel is what Inuyasha was after before he was sealed to the tree. Most demons would kill for it, literally. It can amplify a demon's powers, so it could turn Inuyasha into a full-fledged demon, which is what he wants at the start, the series. That's his goal. It could also turn him human if he wanted. It has, that sort of power. But demons want it. It makes them more powerful, which is bad. And Kagome accidentally shatters this Shikon Jewel into a bunch of tiny shards. They scatter them throughout feudal Japan, and her and Inuyasha have to go and collect these Shikon Jewel shards because even one of the shards makes a demon more powerful, and if a demon were to collect all the shards, you're gonna have a bad time. So they gotta go and they gotta find the Shikon Jewel shards before a demon does. I love the anime. It was my first anime that I watched. It's got a special place in my heart. So I am looking forward to actually reading the manga because while I have watched the whole anime, I actually have never read any of the manga. So, exciting. And last but certainly not least, we have the Red Scrolls of Magic, which is book 1 of The Eldest Curses by Cassandra Clare and Wesley Chu. So for the Readathon, this would be the book by multiple authors. This is also part of Cassandra Clare's Shadowhunters series. I have not read any of that particular series, but I've heard a lot about it, and I know a lot of people have said good things about it. So this story is about the characters Magnus Bane and Alec Lightwood. They are a couple. They want to go have a vacation in Europe. They want to have a nice time, but unfortunately they get word of a demon-worshipping cult called the Crimson Hand that is bent on causing chaos around the world. And it was apparently a cult founded by Magnus himself years ago as a joke. So now they have to race across Europe to track down the Crimson Hand and its elusive new leader before the cult can cause any more damage. And as if it wasn't bad enough that their romantic getaway has been sidetracked, demons are now basically all over the place. And it's becoming increasingly hard to tell friend from foe, and they have to trust each other more than ever, maybe reveal some secrets. But yeah, so that is a little summary of this book. I'm very excited for this book. I didn't even know it was part of the Shadowhunters series when I first picked it up. I mostly got it because of the cover. It's shiny and cute, and I was just, I need to have this. I am looking forward to finally getting into the Shadowhunters universe as well. Like Percy Jackson, it's something else that I've heard a lot of hype for, and then I just never tried it. So we're gonna try the one with the really pretty shiny cover first. Just look at how pretty. So this is my January TBR. Let me know your January TBRs in the comments down below, and I will see you guys next time.